Hey, what's going on, everyone? Looks like the dollar got rejected on its move upward on a daily chart. Now we're working with a double top. Got stopped out at that reversal bar. So expect dollar to come back into support, gather its legs, make a pattern, and break on up. It does look bullish. It just got rejected on its first try above the previous high. And you can see that rejection more closely and clearer if you go long-term chart. Weekly here, you can see it came into resistance and got backed off. Like I said, it's still bullish. It might be on the long-term chart, though. It could come all the way back down into support. And let's see, between 100 and 99. Looks like it has support at 100, more so. $100 or 101, right around there. So right now, for now, we got rejected. We're closing below previous highs, so I'm gathering that it will come back down into support. Looks like 101 is a good spot. And then if it holds there and turns around, then we got another chance at the flat top break. Or this can be just a long-term bearish retracement back into resistance, and this continues onward and downward. So we'll have to see after the retracement's done. Ultimately, on the daily, we got that reversal bar to take out. Large amount of resistance on this reversal bar here. So let's see if we can bump up there, or is it going to get rejected for the longer term? In other words, this is the top. Came down, made another top, now we have a lower high, then it comes down, makes another leg down, and then comes up, and then we have another lower high. But right now we're bullish on a daily. All it has to do is come back into support, and you got a bullish retracement, and it'll try again on that previous high break. Something to notice is we got a divergence in prices. NASDAQ was mostly down today, and so was the S&P, but the Dow Jones was up. So we got a divergence whenever we see that happening on these three indices, more so the Dow and S&P. But right now on a daily S&P, we got a bearish Arami. So never mind the double top, now we got a two-bar pattern. It does have to confirm on the upside or downside, but see how that pans out for the rest of the week. And as far as the week goes, it's still bullish. Dow Jones, same thing. Let's see how we close the day. Looks like, oh, look at that. That's a bearish piercing pattern. It should have closed 50% and greater below the previous candle, so it's not exactly. Oh, it's not a bearish. No, it's not a bearish piercing pattern. Excuse me. I'm not thinking straight on this, but it did break previous highs. So watch for the double top on the Dow Jones. Ultimately on the weekly, it's closing on its highs so far, so nothing. No reversals yet. Let's see if we can go down a little bit. Looks like a Pretty clean. Got a partial here, but it was a hammer right across the support. Look for the flat top break. I don't see any reversals yet. I do see a double top, but it's very minor on that hourly chart. Don't see any reversals. Here's the hourly on S&P. We've got some hanging man everywhere. Got a falling star. Hanging man. Below the 8 on a daily. Could it be turning over? I don't know yet. Got a couple more days of the week. Well, we got reversal bars showing on S&P. But why not on the Dow? All I'm showing on the Dow to be concerned about is the double top. That's about it. It's holding support. Nothing too drastic across the 8. Always recovered. It looks like we got a divergence. Let's see what happens. NASDAQ, let's see. We got a reversal bar here. There's a reversal bar, doji, where the price closes and opens at the same spot after making a long wick. So a couple reversal bars on the NASDAQ. See how that pans out. Made a higher high today. Weekly still strong. Couple more days left. Let's revisit those at the end of the week. Make sure. Crude, it's just as slow as molasses past weeks. Just trying to bust out, but keeps getting rejected. So it busted out and has a little throwback into support. Not quite breaking previous highs though. So is it a rejection? I'm not sure yet. Nice hammer here, and then continuation. Plus a double bottom. But that breakout came into the support on the break line, but didn't close above previous highs at all. Looks like it needs a little bit more work. Still working a double bottom on coal. And still looks weak on the weekly. You can see the bust down across the 34, bearish retrace, and now it's kind of doing its thing. See that on the daily breakdown, and it's a nice consolidation here, so I'm thinking bullish. That's an accumulation phase there. You can see that J curve coming in on that 8. Pretty nice. See what happens with that. Slow as molasses though. Ooh, this one just turned bearish. We were bullish, and it got whipped right across. Looks like it came below previous lows and recovered just a bit, but now we're below all our intermediate time frame support and resistance lines. Came down. Momentum looks down. Things a little top heavy anyways. Anything could happen. Weekly is closing below. Now below the 13. came across, closed below the 8, came into resistance, came into resistance, came into support, came into resistance, now closing below. For the first time below the 13. Looks like it is bearish. Difference. I was bullish yesterday, I think. Off that candle there. Did a complete turnaround and closed below all of our support lines that we had yesterday. Not good. Nikkei. Looks like it's still holding that bullish retracement off the daily. Weekly looks bullish. Watch out for that flat top break. It's holding support on the 13. Broke down here. Found a point here. Held. Little tighten here. Popped above. Came down into support. Now we get the bullish retracement completing. Watching for the flat top break coming through. Shanghai Composite going through resistance. Having a tough time. Did close on its highs though. Not sure if I saw that candle before. Look at that candle right there. Inverted hammer right over support. Now the continuation. Looks bullish from here. Closing above previous highs. Get above the next previous high, and then it's one more point to take out. Nice U pattern. Over support. Nice hammer, continuation. All it's got to do is flat top break at 35, 33. Looks bullish. Gold. Gold's holding its own. Let's start the daily. Still above support. It's right in between the 8 and 13. It's got a lower high. We've got to take out these ultimate highs. We got a double top here. Came down in the support, nice hammer. Came across. Recovered. It was pretty scary morning when it does this and then recovers. It's just gathering its legs because on the weekly, on gold, coming into resistance. One thing, it's going sideways because it's a little detached from its averages. So I think it's just having some time to think as the 8 through time will come up. But it's definitely across the 13 now on a weekly. We got a lot of wicks pointing down, which means direction is up. But we need to take out that double top. We are closing above previous highs. And it came down and closed above, came down and closed above. So let's stay above previous highs at 1235, 1236. We also got support at previous highs here at 1233. We got ultimate support down at 1220. And that's where this all came through. Looks like it's just waiting for that 8 through time to come up and make a splash. Look for previous low breaks as price always seems to want to pull back into support. And that resistance is right there. Ultimate goal is to get above the 34 on a weekly, consolidate above, and then we can take out the new highs or the old highs. Silver's doing a little bit better, but it still has that huge amount of resistance over the 34, and it's right there, it's ready. And we want to make sure we close the week out above previous highs. Otherwise, we could just go back into that previous range. So nice bounce, inverted hammer, previous high break, into support, previous high break, and it's trying. The 8 just crossed. Again, look for if this spends any more time getting rejected over the 34 resistance. Price always, like I said, price always looks to come back into support. I'd really like this to get above 34 and then come back into support, because then we'll have a higher level left shoulder, right shoulder, where now we have a little blip here as our right shoulder here. And one of those instances today was AG, came all the way back into support. Got rejected on the 34, came into support. I mentioned in the comments that support was at, well, it's that line. You got to hold the line. But you can see how the 8 is coming across and price is coming down to meet it. So hopefully it's going to hold this line, and then the 8 can just slide on up. So now we have a left shoulder, and now the right shoulder is coming in. I believed before that this would suffice as the right shoulder, but it got rejected and came back into support. And I'm not sure if the bleeding's done yet. Let's see. I need to take the low. I'm not sure if the bleeding's done yet, but the 8's right there on a weekly chart. Daily, you can see it crossed the 34 into support and bounced. I was hoping for a bigger bounce, at least above the 940 mark, which is previous highs. Come on now. Oh, that's not a line, it's a support line. I'd like to get above previous highs. It came down into previous patterns and bounced. So it's got to hold that shoulder, or that line, of the reverse head and shoulders. And just can't be for sure where that line should be. I'm taking a low and following it through. Let's take the, I'd love to take that gap there, but let's take that gap instead. So it's got to hold the line. I have a gap here. Gaps are good support and resistance lines. There's another gap down here. price decides to, well, if price decides to fall over, we don't have any support up here. All we'll have is a single line here. We got gap support. So I think the bleeding stopped. We don't have a reversal bar yet. Let's look and see if we can find a reversal. That looks like a bearish flag. Watch this come into resistance and back off, make an opposing point, maybe a double bottom. We have a kind of a hammer here, but no reversal bars on the hourly. And a very small bounce for the 4-hour. It's got to hold that line. That's a nice reverse head and shoulders. I'd hate to see that fail. We certainly have support down here, but once the pattern breaks, all bets are off. Sometimes it gets violent on the downside, so let's not hope that happens. Let's hold the line. Copper. Copper came into support, bounced, and came back into support again. So it's just gathering its legs, trying for another turn, I guess. Everything's so confusing. Broke above, came back into support, now it's trying again on the weekly. Let's see where we close out on the week. I don't know how much consolidation it needs, but it'll tell us once it breaks previous highs. GDX. GDX, you can see, came back down into support. Wish it would have closed a hammer off of that bounce. Nice inverted hammer here. Got to take out this inverted hammer. Maybe we can see some higher ups. Again, the reverse head and shoulders. This could be just the right shoulder it needed so badly. I thought that was the reverse head and shoulders, right shoulder there. After the break, came back in, came over. So I guess that right shoulder wasn't enough. Definitely reverse head and shoulders off the bottom. GDXJ, you can see how it came back inside the previous pattern price range and recovered. We are below the 813. We got working a double top. It's coming into support somewhere. It's not beautiful reverse head and shoulders. It's got to hold it. It's got to hold this upper line here. I don't know if it's gonna, because we got lower highs. And we got a downward trend. Intermediately. Nugget, same thing, came back into support. Reverse head and shoulders, all doing the same thing. J-Nug. Let's see if we can find any reversal bars on J-Nug. There's a hammer, nice hammer. 60-minute chart, nice hammer right there. Came down in, confirmed it the next candle, got rejected by the 8, popped above the 8, got support. Now we're trying to get above the 13. Looks like it closed on its highs near 11. Pretty nice range today. That's amazing. Look for an opposing point, maybe hold support at 1060. I'm not sure if this is going to get rejected yet, but it definitely tapped into the previous lows. Bitcoin. Yeah, it's closing on its highs again. This thing's a monster. I got 1160 is the mark. See if it'll break 160. It's made a double top. It's nearly $20 off the mark for a double top breakout. Very, very nice. This one. It's coming into previous breaks. Let's see if we get a rejection out of this. Maybe just a little tiny dog leg here. A little handle. And then we'll have a huge monthly cup and handle. And then we can say sayonara to this one. I think cup and handle breaks are time and a half. I'm not positive on that, but someone can look that up. But a single measured move from 200 to 1100. I mean, what do you got to say? A measured move all the way up. It's definitely powerful. Looking forward to watching that break. This is like silver from 1980 here to 2011 here. And then now we have that little dog leg from since 2011. I'm pretty sure they are not going to be letting me see that. I don't think my prices go back to 1979. But imagine over here, 1979, end of early 80, coming down, maybe a little blips here and there, but imagine just a huge cup. And now we have that little blip, that little dog leg on silver. And now it's coming out of that. Right? Bullish retracements in. I watched the interview the other day. Someone said it's going to be like a 30-year bull market. I love it. I anticipate it maybe a few years. And it's just a cycle, 30-year cycle, bull market coming. That's what I'm like, yeah, I want that. So I love silver. Looks like on a monthly, the silver is breaking over the 8. Lots of resistance over that 34 on the weekly. Right? We just went through this, but hope you guys know the significance of that bullish retracement on the monthly chart. I mean, once this breaks previous high breaks, I mean, what do you got to do? You know, force people to buy this thing or what? I think if it breaks previous high breaks, we're into 26, onwards up to 31, 34, 35, easily breaking. And once we start this on a roll, we're just barely getting started on it. Once we get this on a roll, I bet you we'll take out previous highs and we'll have a triple top break on silver. Could happen at any time. Once this thing gets going. Can't wait. CLF. CLF as well. The previous high breaks are in. We got resistance at 15. Very closely watching this on a intraday, and it looks like at the end of the day, oops, boom, boom, we got the double top here, and it broke down, consolidated, blah, 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 blah. So hourly chart broke above the 8, gapped on the morning, came back in, got a little hammer here, came back in, little blip here, consolidate, consolidate, consolidate. Look for previous high breaks on CLF. That's a nice little cut, or not a nice little consolidation pop, and then the accumulation. Pretty nice close on CLF. I'm looking to get above 12, which would mean previous highs at 12.12. And from there, I mean, monthly, I mean, we got this little blip here, and then we got blue skies all the way up in here. Nice to see, nice to see. USLV, let's pay attention to silver, as silver is going to be a monster. USLV on a monthly is not over the 34 yet, so that's probably why it's acting a little weak. Here's the weekly chart. Again, that 8 is crossing the 13, anticipating that prices usually want to come down to meet it on the cross. Just like the cross is on the down when prices come in. We'll see. We'll see. But I like 3 times silver. Looks like on the intraday it's bullish. And I think we were above 18 on silver just recently, so that's come down just a tad. Looks like my bet on URRE is not come into fruition. It's coming into support instead. I had all these averages all clumped up here, and price was in a pinch, and it decided to break down instead of up. So it's just gathering its legs for another leg down. I got support at 177. It's closing below 2, so that's not good. It's got a lot of work to do now since it's closing below. But ultimately, on the monthly chart, this thing's a monster. This J curve on a monthly chart, I mean, that's what NAK did. Let's just look at NAK real quick. See that long J curve? URA. Looks like that got rejected on the monthly. Little falling star action there. Still got support on the way down on the weekly. And the daily looks like a coming down into support kind of situation. UEC, still working that double top. I was looking for this hammer to come in. I was so ready to buy this on Tuesday morning, but it never came out. So I got support at 146. This would make a double top, and then we would come down here and make a double bottom. And then we'll have a range. Let's see. NHL coming back into support. Dang it. NAK, just to review one more time, we had that double top did not hold the day after the bad news came out. So I don't know if the double top wins or the bad news wins. I'm not sure. But the bad news, I think, escalated the situation. I got previous highs over here at 153. I was hoping to close above that today, but it did not. Had a pretty nice bounce in the morning. Not really nice. If it was really nice, it would have kind of did better than that. We got to hold the double bottom. So we had a spike low. Consolidation got rejected by the 8, and now we're looking for an opposing point double bottom. Or if it wants to open up, then we'll get a higher low. And then we'll have a nice little pattern off the bottom. And then that can cross over the 8, hit the 13, back into support, bam, 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 bam. A little pinball machine. I'm hoping for a double bottom on NAK. Pretty brutal, right? That is brutal. All the way back down into support on that weekly chart. I got previous highs. And I got this previous pattern right here that could be our last look how much work it took to get up here. And then in two weeks it comes all the way back down. That is a drastic pullback. And I don't think that is anything to do with bad news. That's just more like a pump and dump by the market makers. So again, we're looking for a reversal bar. That could be an inverted hammer in the start of the bottom, but nothing yet. But now we've got this little pattern working, so let's stay inside the pattern, watch the pattern price inside the pattern, and then pop on these. Remember I said when the cross happens, price usually tends to come back up into it. So I'm expecting a bounce. But so far it's just all down. All down. Another 16% today. Got to be a bottom somewhere from here. NGD. Looks like we crossed here, came into support, came into the 13, came above, and now we got the accumulation right over the 13. Little stair step action over the 13, pretty nice. It's a little setup right when the 8 is crossing over. BTG. Looks like it came into support pretty well. Pretty healthy bounce there. I think the long term on BTG is my favorite. There it is. Look for previous high breaks, as that will probably take it to all-time breaks. And once the all-time breaks happen, who knows where it's going to go. Probably take a measured move. So, what is that, 50 cents to 450? 450 on up. Measured move. Very nice. BGC. Nice monthly pattern right there. Let's see. Looks like it came into support very well. Now we've got a double bottom over support. Gonna take out those highs though. AUI has been drastic. ABX still holding its own on the monthly chart. Just a little retracement right now. SPVL came down today. Looks like on the monthly it got rejected a little bit. Just a very, very long consolidation phase there, coming down into support on the previous break and the previous lows. So just hanging on by a thread. Got a nice W bottom off the bottom. W right here. Came down into support. I'd like to catch a ride on that one once it starts on up. CNAB, total big time retracement. What was that? CNBX? Yeah. This one came all the way back in. Yesterday, I hope you guys didn't chase that. I wasn't telling you to buy it yesterday. I was just saying, look at that thing ride. And then today it came all the way back in. I don't think that's done either. Unless it wants a high consolidation phase above 4. Look for breakdowns on those emotional spots. It did close below previous highs though. So maybe look for a continuation. Just like NAK. A total reversal. I think that's about it. Watch those silvers. I'm liking silver over the 18 mark. But we can't really have anything if we can't get silver to move with us. So I guess we need gold too. So a little recap here. See what's going on. Let's get that hourly. An inverted hammer on the silver open. And it looks like gold wants to come into support. It's got to hold. Got to build. That's it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what's going on out there. And pretty brutal today. And I expect to get a lot worse. The volatility is going to increase as price reaches new highs. So this next bull phase has just started. So hang in there. Keep your wits about you. Make sure you take your profits off the table. I'll see you.